Alright, in 3, 2, 1.
He dropped the earrings into his mouth, swallowing them one by one. You see, he was cornered by police after stealing several pieces of jewelry. With no time to run and nowhere to hide them, he swallowed them. When officers searched him, his hands were empty, but his stomach was not. X-rays showed 4 sparkling diamonds sitting in his gut. Doctors had to monitor him for days, waiting for him to poop out the stolen jewelry.
Yes.
The cow knocked him into a pile of manure, snapping his hip. He couldn't move and had no way to call for help. For 5 days, he lay helpless in the dirt, baking in the sun and freezing at night. But he wasn't alone. His goat found him and stayed by his side. At night, she curled up beside him to keep him warm.
Aww.
Days passed, and without food and water, the man grew weak. But the goat let him milk her into an old bottle, getting just enough to survive. Eventually, he was found and rushed to the hospital, but he swears he wouldn't have made it without her. They set a fire in their dorm building, hoping to set off the smoke alarm as a prank. But within minutes, the flames exploded. They burned through the couches and melted the carpet, causing thick smoke to fill the halls. The students woke up confused and rushed to the stairs. Some even jumped out windows to escape. But 3 people were killed, while 58 others were injured. Police chased down the pranksters, and one of them even ran the police over to avoid arrest. But finally, they were captured and sent to prison for their crime.
Yes.
If you're stuck in a sauna, most people think they'll just wait it out until someone finds them. But this intense heat has been known to kill people who get stuck inside.
True.
Instead, find the source of the heat, usually in the corner, and try to turn it off or break it. Next, move close to a vent where the air is slightly cooler. And if all else fails, break the door to escape.
Yes.
They drilled the deepest hole ever dug, reaching over 7 miles into the earth. And after 30 years of digging, they lowered down a microphone and captured this sound.
That's fake. That's a hoax.
Now, many believed they had drilled into hell itself, and even some said a demon had escaped through the hole. But it turned out the recording had never actually happened. Instead, Christian TV networks cut together sounds from a horror movie and used it to try and prove that hell exists.
That's a hoax.
As you move forward, the pole dips gently on both sides, spreading your weight across a bigger area and slowing down every little movement. That means it takes more time and effort to start tipping and more time to keep tipping. This gives the walker time to notice they're off balance and shift their weight to fix it. Without the pole, your movements would be quicker, with less time to react. He mixed the chemicals together, hoping to create a clear plastic for gun sights. But it instantly stuck to everything it touched. It was too sticky to be useful, so it was abandoned. But years later, he realized it could be used as a powerful glue. Eventually, his employer decided to bottle it up and sell it. Once it hit stores, it made billions of dollars, and it now sells millions of tubes every year. They buried the dog, but didn't notice the dirt moving as they walked away. You see, the dog had been hit by a truck. Thinking he was dead, his owners buried him, then left for the weekend. But he was actually just unconscious. When he woke up underground, he clawed his way back up to the surface. And when the family returned days later, they found him waiting on the porch, wagging his tail. He was happy, and they were horrified. After eating thousands of coins, he had to be rushed to the hospital for an emergency surgery. The coins weighed as much as a bowling ball and made a hole in the man's stomach. The surgeons made an incision and pulled out the coins by hand and added them to a pile. It didn't end there. More coins were stuck in his throat, and they had to stick a tube in to find them. After every coin had been removed, they closed up the man's stomach and he survived. You would strap it to your back and stick the syringe in your arm. This would take a tiny sample of your blood and measure how much sugar was in there. A pump would then inject insulin through a second syringe, which would keep your sugar levels stable. But it ran on heavy batteries, making it difficult to carry, and it needed to be constantly checked. to make sure it was injecting the right amount. Sleeping with it would be impossible, meaning it was never sold.
Yes.
Hold open your eyelids and lean over the eye wash station, letting the clean water hit both eyes at once.
Aww.
As it does, look up,
Yes.
down,
Aww.
left, and right. This will flush out the dangerous chemicals before they cause serious damage. Now, some chemicals are strong enough to blind you, even if you wash most of them out. To be sure, keep rinsing for at least 15 minutes. By that time, your eyes should be clear, saving you from going blind. She tried to climb onto her balcony after locking herself out. But as she stepped onto the lid to the building's garbage chute, it gave way. She plummeted 30 feet straight down before hitting the bottom of the chute. For over an hour, she was trapped with severe injuries to her head and back. Rescuers finally pulled her, and somehow she was still conscious. She flipped off TV cameras as she was lifted to the ambulance.
Yes. Comment down below, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next video.